For thousands of years, Zeus and Yahweh have stood as two of the most powerful deities in human history, one ruling from the heights of Mount Olympus, the other reigning over all creation. But what if these two gods weren't just separate myths from different cultures? What if there was a deeper connection, a hidden conflict that shaped the ancient world? Today, we're diving into one of the most controversial theories in mythology, theology, and ancient history. Was there a cosmic war between the gods of different civilizations? Was Zeus, the mighty king of the Greek pantheon, in direct opposition to Yahweh, the singular and omnipotent God of the Israelites? And if so, who truly won? Let's begin. To understand this theory, we first need to compare Zeus and Yahweh at their core. Zeus was the ruler of the Olympian gods, the king of the skies, lightning and thunder. A being of immense power, yet flawed, passionate, vengeful, and often entangled in mortal affairs. Yahweh, on the other hand, was depicted as an all-powerful, all-knowing, and eternal deity, the singular God of Abrahamic faiths, governing not just storms, but the entire universe. At first glance, they seem completely different. One is a mythological deity with human-like flaws. The other is a monotheistic, transcendent being. But what if we're looking at this the wrong way? What if Zeus and Yahweh weren't just different names, but rival forces? Could Zeus have been a powerful but rebellious entity, a fallen god who once challenged Yahweh's authority over the world? Let's take a closer look at where Zeus came from. In Greek mythology, Zeus overthrew his father, Cronus, and led a war against the Titans, ancient, godlike beings who ruled before him. This war, known as the Titanomachy, was brutal. Zeus and his siblings fought for 10 years before claiming victory and establishing a new order of gods, the Olympians. Now compare this to Yahweh's biblical narrative. In various interpretations of Jewish, Christian, and even Gnostic texts, there are stories of divine rebellion. Angels who rose up against God, including Lucifer, the most famous of all. These rebellious figures were cast down, defeated, and banished from the divine realm. Could this be describing the same kind of divine war? One where Yahweh, the supreme creator, overthrew a powerful force of lesser gods, possibly led by Zeus himself? Or could it be the other way around? Was Zeus actually the victorious force, while Yahweh was the ancient ruler that came before? Some researchers suggest that early monotheistic traditions evolved from older polytheistic religions. If that's true, could Yahweh have been the true original Sky Father, later divided into multiple gods, Zeus being one of them? This war between different factions of gods isn't unique to Greek and biblical traditions. Across the world, we see similar stories. In Norse mythology, Odin, Thor, and the Aesir battled the giant-like Jotnar for dominion over the cosmos. In Mesopotamian texts, the god Marduk had to defeat Tiamat, an ancient chaotic force, to create the world. Even in Hinduism, there's a struggle between the Devas and the Asuras, echoing a similar pattern. Could these myths all be retellings of the same ancient war, one that happened long before recorded history? Now, here's where things get even more mysterious. The ancient world was dominated by polytheism, multiple gods, often connected to nature and human emotions. But then, something changed. Around the time of the rise of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, the belief in one supreme God started replacing the old pantheons. Why? Some scholars believe this wasn't just a cultural shift, but a takeover. What if Yahweh's dominance wasn't just a religious evolution, but the result of a divine conflict? Did Yahweh defeat Zeus and the old gods? Did monotheism erase the memory of an ancient battle where one god conquered the rest? Or was it the opposite? Did Zeus and the Olympians succeed in casting Yahweh into obscurity, only for him to rise again later through new faiths? The transition from Olympian gods to a single, all-powerful God remains one of history's most enigmatic religious transformations. Now, here's another radical idea. What if Zeus and Yahweh were never enemies, but two different interpretations of the same divine force? Zeus was known as the father of gods and men, the supreme ruler of the skies. Yahweh was often depicted as a wrathful, commanding deity who wielded storms, fire, and absolute authority. Both were lawgivers. Both were prone to moments of destruction and mercy, and both were seen as rulers of the divine realm. Could Zeus have been an earlier depiction of Yahweh, misunderstood over time as mythology replaced history? Or could Zeus have been one of Yahweh's many faces, a temporary aspect of the divine that was later replaced by a more singular and universal concept of God? Some scholars argue that ancient deities evolved over time, merging and shifting as cultures changed. Was Yahweh simply the next step in this divine transformation? So, what's the truth? Was there an ancient cosmic war between Zeus and Yahweh, one that led to the rise of monotheism and the downfall of the old gods? Were they rivals, battling for control over human belief? Or were they one and the same, their myths diverging over centuries into different interpretations of divinity? The answer may never be fully known. But one thing is clear: history, mythology, and religion hold secrets that we are only beginning to uncover. And perhaps, buried in forgotten texts, lost ruins, or even within the stories we think we know, the real battle of the gods still waits to be revealed. Until then, the war between Zeus and Yahweh remains one of history's greatest mysteries.